Welcome back.
Information has come to light regarding a large-scale racket where fuel from the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation is being siphoned, mixed with low-grade oils and distributed across the island. According to the police media spokesperson, SP Prishanta Jayakodi, this information came to light subsequent to several raids carried out today.
The raids were carried out this afternoon in several areas including Kadawatha, Kirimatiyagara, Kohilawatta and Aturugiriya. Many fuel tanks were located during these raids. According to the police, the special task forces conducted the raids based on the instructions of the Defence Secretary and Inspector General of Police. The police said that some tanks had been built underground and contained diesel and other oils. The police further said that fuel had been mixed at these locations and then distributed island-wide. The Criminal Investigations Department is conducting further investigations.
In Parliament today, views were expressed on an irregularity that took place at an examination centre in Ratnapura during the distribution of the GCE Advanced Level English paper. The issue was raised subsequent to a question posed by UNP parliamentarian Ravi Karunanayaka with regard to school uniforms.
You know that uniforms are provided each year. The concept of local production was forgotten and the concept of importing was carried forward. It was brought for 63 cents a metre. But this has changed now based on what I know. However, you can correct me if I am wrong. According to my knowledge, this has been given over to a particular person. These are incorrect facts. We hope to discuss the cabinet paper that has been presented with regard to completely giving over the task of supplying uniforms to local producers. It was stated that it won't be brought down, but it is being imported from China and carried out with someone here. The question deals with education and saving the resources in the country. The government is intervening in a major way to save resources.
Today is the day on which the advanced level English paper is being held. Based on what I know, the first part of the English paper was scheduled to be given at a school in Ratnapura. However, the second part had been given to students at one of the halls at that school instead. However, the students at other halls had been given the first part. The problem is that those who were given the second part cannot be let out, as they might go and reveal its contents to those who were given the first part of the paper. Therefore, these children were kept inside the hall without allowing them to even consume their midday meal. Honourable Speaker, how can they sit for the exam when they are being held like prisoners inside the hall?
Honourable Speaker, that is the only alternative. There is no other option. The former Education Minister is also here. During such a complex exam, mistakes may occur at the hands of certain invigilators. That's human nature. Therefore, some action needs to be taken in those instances. The best thing to do is to keep them back without sending them out. If food is required, then food should be provided.
Staying in news from the House of Legislation, UNP parliamentarian Sajith Premadasa posed 3 questions to Education Minister Bandula Gunawardena in Parliament today.
The Honourable Sajith Premadasa is collecting information on schools in the Hambantota district through some survey. Because I have to respond with information from that province, please grant me a period of 1 month. I would like to obtain that information from this assembly and ask you supplementary questions. There is no secret about my intentions. I will give this to you in a month.
Meanwhile, leader of the Democratic National Alliance, parliamentarian Sarath Fonseca, raised a privilege issue in Parliament today.
Yesterday, on the 19th of August 2010, I was supposed to participate in the Advisory Committee of the Ministry of Defence, of which I am a member, as a parliamentarian. But army officers concerned did not provide me with the necessary transport. Not only that, I was even brought into yesterday's parliamentary session late. It is your duty, Honourable Speaker, to correct these injustices to which I have fallen victim to on a daily basis. Therefore, I request that I be granted permission to arrive for parliamentary sittings on time hereafter.
වාතාවරණය ඇති කර දෙන මෙන් ඔබතුමාගේ අවධානය සඳහා යොමු කරමි.
On to some news from the hill capital now. The first Randoli Perahera of the Kandy Asala festival is currently underway. According to the Perahera Secretariat of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic, the Perahera took to the streets at the auspicious time of 8:10 p.m. facing the south.
According to our correspondent, steps have been taken to provide all devotees present to watch the Perahera with the necessary facilities and also to ensure their safety. Meanwhile, the traditional bees honey offering made to the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic took place this morning. Members of the indigenous community led by Uruwalige Wannilatto make this offering to the temple each year. The Diyawadanilame of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic presented tokens to those who participated in this special offering. Meanwhile, a book titled Siridalda Urumaya Saha Manuwara Sridalda Malige was also offered to the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic today. Diyawadanilame of the Temple of the Sacred Tooth Relic Pradeep Nirangadala presented this book, authored by K. Meegahakumbura, to the chief prelates of the Askiri and Malwatu chapters.
Well, 9 persons, including the chairman of the Yatawata Pradesh Sabha, who allegedly abducted 3 suspects in police custody and assaulted them, have been remanded until the 2nd of next month. The relevant local government politician and the other suspects involved in the incident surrendered to the police and were subsequently produced before court after one of the suspects involved in the incident was arrested last night. The incident had occurred subsequent to an attack launched on a funeral parlour in the Yatawata area in Marthale and an assault on its owner. The police said the suspects linked to damaging the funeral parlour were in the custody of the Yatawata police checkpoint. The police went on to say that the group, including the chairman of the Yatawata Pradesh Sabha, had then abducted these suspects, assaulted them and handed them back to the checkpoint. This led to the surrender of the group, including the local government politician. Meanwhile, investigations have commenced into an incident where the chairman of the Akurasa Pradesh Sabha assaulted a female employee at his office. The woman stated that she was assaulted by the chairman at the time she went into his office to place her signature on a register after completing her work for the day.
The
chairman asked me to go with him to various locations from time to time. I was not in favour, however. Then he said that I didn't have a job and told me not to sign. I refused and took the book. I then told him to issue a letter to me. I said that if this was not done, I will only leave after signing the book. When I was about to do that, he grabbed the book and assaulted me. He assaulted me with his right hand, on which he had a watch. His watch knocked my chest and hand.
Thereafter, the relevant Pradesh Sabha employee lodged a complaint with the police and was admitted to hospital. News First made inquiries from the chairman of the Pradesh Sabha concerned.
I am the one who recruited her as a substitute office assistant. She was told not to report to work about a week ago and I was not sure about her work. She came crying and asked for forgiveness if something wrong had occurred. Since it was related to work, I told her not to sign and asked her not to report to work from tomorrow. I also said I will give her the necessary letters. However, she leaped forward and grabbed the register. I pulled it back. Thereafter, she stepped out and left. She then lodged a complaint with the police. That was the minor incident that occurred.
The police said that statements have been obtained from around 6 employees at the relevant Pradesh Sabha.
We now have details of several events that certain ministers took part in during the course of the day.
A disaster management centre and auditorium constructed for the Kaltura district was declared open in Agalawatta today. The project, which was initiated based on a request made by Minister of Plantation Industries Mahinda Samarasinghe, was built at a cost of around 90 million rupees with Korean aid. Several persons, including Korean Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Minister A.H.M. Fauci and Mahinda Samarasinghe, were present at the occasion. Meanwhile, a bridge link in the Dharaniyagala and Yatiyantota electorates was vested in the public today under the patronage of Deputy Minister of Economic Development Ranjit Siambalapitiya. The UNP is the main opposition. What is the biggest issue they are facing? They have no issues pertaining to the Paravalathana bridge or Norochole. They also do not have to meet a target of doubling the income of the people in the country within 5 years like we do. They cannot solve their leadership problem, however. They have been holding discussions for months on end and throughout the year about who will be fit to lead. But there is still no solution.